So I want to talk to you about the journey of Codesourced. I do Codesourced with Joshua Val, and I just want to tell you a little bit about our journey. It is a short one, but a lot has seemed to have happened. So we started Codesourced on the back of a bit of discomfort in the tech industry that companies couldn't find the talent that they were looking for. We'd spoken to developers, we'd spoken to industry, and there was an understanding from both parties that recruiters weren't doing the job that they wanted to. There was a disconnect. So we thought, well, you know, we can actually provide some value here. I'm not a developer, but obviously Joshua is, but I do have a background in recruitment, so I understand people. It was Codesourced, which is you know, obviously a developer fronting a lot of those development conversations, and me, the people person, working on that fit, on that people side, and so on, the softer sort of side. So we went out into market saying technical recruitment by technical people, and we went and engaged with developers, we engaged with industry, and the response was fantastic. Candidates were really pleased when we sat down and said, what are you looking for? What have you done? What are you really interested in learning? What do you like about your role, and what are you looking for in your next role? They weren't getting that. They were getting, okay, so you do Rails, so you want a Rails job. And it's, yeah, as we all know, there's lots of different things that can happen in certain jobs and so on. So the response was good. Industry again, you know, Joshua would sit down and the guys would be saying, well, it's weird to have a recruiter that knows more about code than we do. You know, that's unheard of. So it was a really good response. As we dug deeper, we found that, in fact, there is a bigger problem out there. The bigger problem is there's just not enough talent. This is a worldwide thing, but particularly in Wellington is important, and I'll go into this as well. There are hundreds of vacancies in Ruby on Rails in Wellington that is estimated, especially when you've got companies like Xero, PowerShop, Silverstripe that are expanding quickly and bleeding other companies of their good talent. So there's a big problem. Now, think about this. Think about this. We've got an interesting situation here, because I hear batted about quite frequently at Enspiral and in the Wellington market that Wellington is the next tech capital. And we've got our Prime Minister saying that we're dying. Well, I know why he's saying we're dying, because on paper, economically, we are dying. Our corporate sector is gone. It's all gone to Auckland. Our public sector has recently been slashed by a quarter. So there's a lot of people that are hurting out there financially. And in the big picture of things, yeah, we don't look too good. What we are relying on is we're relying on the tech industry to fill that void. It's a big void. And the tech industry is just well, not a trickle, but it's a bit more than that. But it's certainly not the torrent that we need to fill that void. The thing holding that back is talent. If we get the talent right, we can expand and we can scale and so on. A thing that really pointed this out to me was I had a conversation with a reasonably good tech company in Wellington. They should be expanding, they should be incredibly innovative. I said, what is the talent shortage doing for you? And they said, for us, it's turned us from an innovative company into a non-innovative company. We haven't got the resource to try other products, other ideas, and we certainly don't have the resource to then scale them. Well, if we want to be a tech capital, those are two things we need to be able to do. We need to try ideas and we need to scale them when they work. So there's a big problem there. And yeah, the talent is stifling Wellington's growth in the tech space. So we had a couple of ideas. The first one was overseas attraction. We can start it immediately. It's inexpensive. We started doing this. This is what we did. We started calling and saying, okay, we're doing overseas recruitment. The thing is when you come to think about it, Joshua and I, we're two people, and for us to expand takes a lot of time. We can't get 500 people into Wellington in 2 years. We can't do it in 10 years. So it's just not a practical solution. The next idea was a bit different. And we looked at Dev Bootcamp, particularly because Joshua's got contacts in Dev Bootcamp in the States. Dev Bootcamp is an intensive training to bring someone that has not necessarily any code background or any programming background into a role where they can actually hit the ground running in a development team. It's a slow start. I mean, at best we run our first course in January. It's expensive to set up. The space is expensive. You need 600 to 900 square meters. Teachers are expensive. Computers are expensive. So there's a cost there. But the one thing that we are looking at is a high volume of talent, and this model does give you that. 20 developers are graduating every 3 weeks. So what is it? It's an apprenticeship on steroids. That's what it's described online anyway. It's a very intensive 9-week program, rolling cohorts of 20 students. So every 3 weeks you've got 20 students attending the course. That means you are learning with people that are more senior and more junior, as you would in a normal environment. When you're in a development team, obviously you've got people that are more senior and more junior. So they're replicating a real life model. And it's said that this is the most intense development you'll ever do. There's video application followed by a screening process. There is no prerequisite. You don't have to be a developer. You can be anything. It's attitude that people are looking for. It's expensive, $12,000 per student, $9,000 with a job placement, so you get some reimbursement if you're placed in a job afterwards. And yes, Dev Bootcamp does help you get a role after that. And they've been 90% successful in finding roles after this. I haven't got much more. So what is the right candidate? The right candidate is smart. Very importantly, they don't have an ego. Those of you who are in dev teams will know the difficulties that they can bring. And they have to have a hunger to learn and to teach, which is a big trait in the development space. And you don't need superpowers, although they're kind of handy. Hey, so Dev Bootcamp, what was the response when we went back out to market and said we're doing this? Well, I was blown away with the response. A lot of people didn't know about it, but those that did were just blown away. They said, bring it on, what can we do to help? Particularly Wellington City Council, they've offered to facilitate in any way that they can, whether it be the central government, industry and so on, so it's been fantastic. The industry that we've talked to, even if they haven't had Rails shops, or had anything to do with Rails, if they've got a .NET stack or something like that, they're very, very open to engaging and working with us, and they realised that, actually I didn't go into that, but anyway, they're not as interested in the fact that it's, okay, they're not running the same technology. What they are interested in is the people that do have those other qualities of understanding how to problem solve, work with others, and teach and learn. So yeah, and obviously I love it, I'm pretty excited about it. And the biggest response was, this is just what Wellington needs. You know, coming from people like Xero, who are suffering big time because they can't find the talent, the comment was, yes, we need this right now, it's going to be a better time. So what do we do? Well, I am talking to industry. I want to engage with as many people as possible to make sure that this is the right thing that they are wanting. In doing that, you also find out what the barriers are, why people don't like this as well. So I really want to know, really want to get it right. Then we'll be looking for teachers, space, hardware, and it will be a case of promoting